With AEW Collision on the horizon, it's really got me thinking about how the show's gonna go and if I'm actually gonna have time to watch this show every single Saturday night. But the other thing it got me thinking about is what are some of the best AEW TV matches I've ever seen? Because AEW has some great pay-per-view matches, but there's a lot of TV bangers out there that people tend to forget about, and I don't blame them because there's like no way to watch it unless you have DVR. But with all that being said, ranked in no particular order, these are the best AEW Dynamite / Rampage matches in AEW history. Kicking things off with, in my opinion, the best women's match in AEW, Hikaru Shida versus Jamie Hayter from the AEW Holiday Bash 2022. I mean, you could argue it's the best one, but it definitely is the best televised one. Hikaru Shida is one of the best prodigies to come out of Japan to sign with AEW. She brings that hard-hitting Joshi style that wrestling fans have come to love. Jamie Hayter is somebody who many fans don't know this, but actually trained in Japan for a period of time. Coming from the home promotion Stardom, she brings that hard-hitting nature when need be. Back with her impeccable selling and knack for visual storytelling, it makes her one of the very best in the ring today. So when these two clash, we got nothing but just fantastic wrestling. It's one of the best matches in under 15 minutes you could possibly watch, and I highly recommend it. FTR versus the Young Bucks is one of those tag team matches that makes you really damn proud to be a tag team wrestling fan. FTR every single week just seems to find a new way to incorporate something classic or something fresh to the tag team scene. There be a new tag sequence, way to counter a move, or wave to go from one to the next. FTR are just straight innovators and we love it. And the Young Bucks, in my opinion, have gotten better and better by year, becoming less spot heavy and more relying on storytelling. And FTR will force them to do so as well if they forget. And what we got here was 20 minutes of tremendous tag team wrestling. Arguably better than the first match. CM Punk versus MJF had a bloody match at AEW Revolution 2022. But before their Revolution match, they had a singles match in AEW Dynamite. And though it's on the lengthy side at a little over 30 minutes, it is a terrific bout of professional wrestling that rewards you for sitting through all of its time length. Though it could have shaved like 5 minutes off, it's still a great match in its own right. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Broken Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega in an AEW Dynamite Street Fight is an often forgot about tag team match. Happening during the COVID era, I don't blame people for forgetting it happened, but it is one of the most fun matches in AEW history. Just the sheer chaos of these men going backstage, Sammy Guevara getting ran over by a golf cart, Matt Hardy going in and out of character, Chris Jericho wearing a cone on his head, R-bombing Kenny Omega on top of a golf cart, Kenny Omega moonsault. I don't want to ruin the spot. You just have to watch this match if you haven't already. If you have watched it, please rewatch it because it's just so funny. I get a very melancholy feeling every time I think about Brodie Lee versus Cody Rhodes in that very, very, very brutal dog collar match for more ways than one. But if you can stomach through that feeling of sadness you may get, you will get a crazy battle. Brodie Lee and Cody Rhodes put everything on the line in this match, and it really shows in the end result. Even though Cody Rhodes wasn't really liked at this time, you get a very hoorah feeling from seeing him finally vanquish the beast in Brodie Lee. And let us not forget that before Jon Moxley started bleeding all over the place, there was Cody Rhodes. The Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks from AEW Rampage is also just a fantastic tag team match. Now mind you, every single tag team match they've had is no short of great. Especially the trio of pay-per-view matches they've had. Oh, can't touch it. But the random tag team match we got on Rampage that one week really had me thinking that maybe I should watch Rampage more often. If you're not a fan of high-flying, aerialistic, spot monkey wrestling, you're probably not going to like it. Obviously, there's a subsection of fans that will not like this type of wrestling. But the ones that do, and love the super kicks, and love the series of Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks match, this is it. This is it. Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta is still one of my favorite matches of 2022. Happening during WrestleMania 38 weekend, it is a bloody battle. Wheeler Yuta was gushing blood in this match. It even got me worried at one point, but he fought through his Crimson Mask and gave us one of the most exciting near falls I have seen in a long time. I ain't gonna lie, it gave me Bret Hart and Stone Cold vibes. Jon Moxley was there to brutalize the kid and he did just that. Wheeler Yuta fought hard, but he couldn't put him down. The crowd gained a new respect for Wheeler Yuta, and so did Jon Moxley in the Blackpool Combat Club. So much so that this match led to him being recruited to the faction. Important part in AEW history and a must watch. Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson at Winter is Coming is a marathon. You do need some time to sit through this one. But once you sit down, you're going to be locked in. Every single minute that passes is filled with riveting action. Bryan Danielson is freshly heel in this match, and he shows out the elements of someone who just wants to kick your ass so badly, while at the same time selling all of Hangman's offense to make it seem like he's in the fight of his life as well. Hangman Page brought that same element to the table, being able to power over Danielson in spurts made for a very back and forth battle. Despite the length, I believe it's one of the greatest matches in AEW history. I would even put it over the second match they had, which is very debatable. Take some time and do watch this. In the midst of me recording that video, I made 9 matches instead of 10. So if this looks like it's out of place and that it was recorded on a different day, it's because it was. Following up on that 60-minute epic is this 30-minute epic, Kenny Omega vs. Pac in a 30-minute Iron Man match. This is personally one of my favorite TV matches ever. Pac and Kenny Omega have tremendous chemistry, and I believe that comes from the fact that their movesets and styles are very similar to each other. While they're both heavyweights, they can high fly when need be. Especially Pac, he's incredible at athleticism and flexibility, and Kenny Omega wrestling that New Japan epic style, he's able to not carry, but he's able to bring his opponents to their best matches, like at any point in time. And we get that in this bout between those two. With there being a 30-minute time limit, you get that sense of urgency towards the end. There is some setup to it, but once you start getting into those high action moves, it reels you in. This match is often forgotten about, and in my opinion, I think it still is one of the best matches in AEW history, period. Definitely give it a watch if you've never seen it or maybe forgot about it. And finally, Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. For many, this is one of the greatest matches of all time. A dream match for many that was fulfilled in AEW's biggest show up until that point in Arthur Ashe Stadium. Bryan Danielson is fresh off of his WWE run, wrestled like he had something to prove. Kenny Omega came full force with that action and that wrestling that you expected to have from his New Japan days. It was just this beautiful mix of strong style, American showman, technical wrestling. It was just all there. It's a very all-rounded performance. And Kenny Omega being the heel added a very fresh element to a match that would have otherwise probably went down differently if they were both babyfaces. Again, this is a match with some time to it. It is 30 minutes, but every second is tremendous. Before the bell even rings, they face down and you know you're going to get something magical. And you do when the match proceeds. Definitely a must watch. And that's my list. What does yours look like?